I heard my boyfriend's parents say something absolutely toxic about me. Trigger warning, this story involves heavy racism. Let's jump right in it. If you're new to the channel, my name's Mr. Reddito, and I read stories every single day. Here's story number 1. Hey, my boyfriend's 25 and I'm 23. We've been dating for a year now. To give a bit more context, he's white and 100% Canadian. I was born in Kenya and moved to Canada when I was 1. I had never met his parents because they live 3 hours away from us, and he's not super close to them anyways. When lockdown started and both our jobs closed, he asked if I wanted to spend a few weeks with them so I could meet them and visit his hometown. I said, quote, "Sure, sounds like fun." We drove there on a Friday night, and when my boyfriend introduced me to his parents, they were super nice. We were talking, laughing, all the good stuff. When it was getting late, my boyfriend and I decided to prepare for bed, and went upstairs. When he was already in bed, he realized he forgot his charger downstairs and asked me if I could just please go get it. When I was walking down the stairs, I heard his mother, still at the kitchen table, mention my name, so being the nosy person I am, I stopped and listened. They said I was nice, and I was happy to hear that. But then his father said, "It's a shame she's a beep." His mother answered, "As long as he doesn't marry her, it's fine, and he won't. He knows we would be disappointed." I kind of froze up, waiting for them to change the subject, got my boyfriend's charger and went upstairs. I didn't know how to feel, and I still don't. I'm lucky enough to have never dealt with this kind of racism, so I'm a bit lost on what to do. What his mother said implies my boyfriend knows his parents are not happy with him being with me. Is this why he's waited so long to introduce them to me? And why didn't he warn me that his parents don't want him dating a black girl? Do I even talk to him about it? I don't want to cause more drama, but at the same time, I'm mad. And also sad. I know we're not there yet, but would his parents' disapproval stop him from marrying me? And if we have kids, will their grandparents hate them because they're not white enough? I love my boyfriend so much, and I know he loves me, but I don't know what to do and how to go about this. Hey guys, Mr. Reddito here. So it took a little bit of digging, but just a little bit longer after this original thread was posted, I found an update on this, and the OP decided to tell her boyfriend what happened. So let's go ahead and take a look at that and see what his response is. If you're new to the channel and you're enjoying this so far, the best way to support me is simple. All you have to do is subscribe to the channel and press that like button. Here is the update. I decided to tell my boyfriend what happened. I told him last night at 2 a.m. and he was livid. I barely had time to finish the story before he started packing our bags. He kept on apologizing for the situation he put me in, and I could see how horrible he felt about all this. He told me he wanted to talk to his parents about what they said, and asked if I wanted to be a part of the conversation or if I'd rather wait in the car. Not being a person who likes confrontation at all, I hesitated but ultimately said I wanted to be there. I just didn't want to actively participate in the conversation. I was way too uncomfortable. He woke his parents up, sat them down and told them what I've heard. They were clearly extremely uncomfortable and kind of just staring at him, like they couldn't believe he was doing this. He told them it was unacceptable and how ashamed he was of them. He also told them that when or if we decide to speak to them again, they better be ready to sincerely apologize and do better, because he would not tolerate anything else. He also mentioned that their opinion would have no impact on who we decided to marry. His mom looked like she wanted to say something, but let me tell ya, he didn't let her. We just got up and left. We were quite shaken up on the ride home, but he took the time to explain to me what he knew and why his parents behaved this way. Basically, he remembers his parents making racist remarks here and there when he was little. not just about black people, but other races in general. He did not really know it was wrong until he got out of his hometown and realized his parents were so wrong in their views. With time, he saw his parents less and less, because their views regarding race and other issues just did not align with his at all anymore, and it would create animosity every time he visits them. When he met me, even before we became a couple, we're just friends. He would often post pictures of us on Facebook, and his parents would see them. They never mentioned anything. When they learned that we were a couple, they said they wanted to meet me, and he wasn't sure of this sincerely. And he said that they talked about me when they would call him. And for a whole year, my boyfriend basically tried to make sure that they were actually okay with our relationship. His parents kept saying not to worry, that they've learned from their past mistakes, asking him to trust them, etc. After a year, he finally believed them, and that's when he decided to introduce us. He was so happy to see how nice and accepting they were towards me. He said it himself, he was too naive. He was pretty much crying while telling me this, but I could tell that he tried not to because he felt responsible and did not want to make it about himself. Maybe it makes me dumb, but I don't blame him. I know him, and he would not put me in a situation like that on purpose. I believe him when he says he truly thought they changed. He apologized numerous times and told me I never had to see them again, and that he would not either for a very long while. He was already not close with them, and this situation did not help at all. He made it a point to say that what his mother said about him wasn't true. You know, the fact about him saying that if he wouldn't marry me because he knows they would be disapproved. We talk a lot about it since last night. We barely slept. And I decided I do want to stay with him. And a big majority of the comments under my last post told me that my best option was to leave him. And I understand why, but I do love him very much. And I really do not want to leave him because his parents hate our relationship. I think I would regret it. I'm not saying it'll be easy, and maybe I'm making a mistake, but I want to be with him. Maybe it's disappointing to a lot of you, but it's my decision. This story was so hard to get through. I cannot believe that the parents would just put on such a blank face and act like they like her the entire weekend and then behind her back say something that racist. Absurd, extremely toxic people, and let me just say, I'm so proud of the boyfriend for standing up to his parents and putting his foot down, saying this is not okay. Let's go ahead and check out a comment. So glad your boyfriend stood up to you properly. No wavering, nothing. You told him and immediately he took action, showing you he was on your side. Good stuff. I have to agree with that opinion. I am so happy about the boyfriend standing up, but drop your thoughts on this story. I would love to see what you think. Our final story of the video. Cousin thinks I'm his nanny. Guys, the best way you can support me is simple. All you have to do is subscribe to the channel, number 1, and number 2, if you're enjoying, press that like button. Here comes today's story number 2. My cousin's girlfriend had a baby around the same time I did, which if you read my last post, then you know all this happened many years ago. My child was shunned and unwanted by my family, but my cousin's child was welcomed, even though they were living off the system and the mother was the child of illegal immigrants, whom my family protected. As soon as the kid was born, my cousin started asking, then demanding I babysit, because until my son started school, I was a stay-at-home mom while my husband worked. I watched the brat a few times, and he is incorrigible. He's violent even to this day. He would not listen to me, would destroy my home, and ended up hitting my son in the face with a metal model car. When I told my cousin I would not be watching him anymore, he did not seem to take me seriously, and even had his dad try to bully me into watching the kid. The final straw was my son's birthday, and we had planned on going to a movie. We were getting ready to walk out the front door when I was there and I saw a vehicle pull up. It took me a minute to register who it was. My uncle brought the child to the door along with my cousin's wife, and exchange went like this. The uncle said, "Hello, we're dropping off child for you to watch tonight because we've got somewhere to go." Then someone turned out to be my other cousin, the uncles of the other son's wedding reception, and because of the child's behavior, they didn't want him there. So I respond by saying this. "I'm sorry, but we're getting ready to go to leave. I've told you also that I'm not your babysitter anymore." At this point, I get my son into his coat, and my husband comes into the foyer. Husband says, "Hey, what's going on? Why is Uncle here with the kid?" We need you to watch him for a little while." My uncle had already set the kid down in the floor, and he was glaring at my kid. No, buddy, we're going to a movie. You'll have to find someone else." "I'll just take him with you then, or just don't go." No. No to both of those. We're going now. Please just get out of my home and take this kid with you." My uncle is a bully. He hates people telling him no. My husband and I walked outside with our child, and my husband told my uncle he needs to leave so we could lock the door. My uncle tried walking out of the door, leaving his kid inside. My husband says, "No, I said we aren't watching him. If you leave him here, I'll call the police, buddy, for child abandonment because he isn't going with us." My uncle was livid. What's the big deal? We can't take him to this event with us, just watch him." Again, my husband told him no and that we're leaving. Uncle scooped the kid up and tried to put him in our car, and my husband told him we'd drop him off at the police station if he did that. This kid was literally grabbing fistful of my uncle's hair and slamming his forehead into the side of my uncle's face. My husband locked the car doors once my son and I were inside, then proceeded to lock the front door. We pulled off with the uncle still standing in the driveway. This was back in the day of basic cell phones, and we turned ours off for our movie. I want to say it was the quote, "the day after tomorrow" that we saw. My cousin and his wife were later investigated by CPS because of their child's behavior, especially when he started school and would violently attack teachers. My cousin's wife did have some words that night. She called us rich and entitled, saying it wasn't fair we treated her little angel like this. She even tried shoving him in the other driver's side when my husband went to get in the car. She would text me for weeks after this, telling me I shouldn't have everything I do, and that her kid was more deserving. Just when you think you've seen all the entitlement you could ever see in a lifetime, these stories just blow my mind away. I don't understand why these people thought that they could just dump their kid there and that's that. Let's go ahead and read some comments. Good on you for standing up to your decision. Props to your husband for having your back. And OP replied to that comment by saying this. There was an instance where they left him in my home with my sister-in-law, just dropped him off, and walked away. He bit my sister-in-law so badly, she required medical care. Comment under that says, holy crap, that kid has serious problems. I hope he gets help he obviously needs. Yeah, me too. It doesn't help he has toxic parents, but let me know what you guys think of this. If you were standing there in OP's position, what would you say to these entitled parents? Exact word for word. Drop it in the comment section. That's all the stories I have for you. I really enjoy doing this, so click that subscribe button because Mr. Reddito will be here every single day, and I'll catch y'all tomorrow.